Hello and welcome to this video on the price elasticity of demand. In this video we're going to look at what is meant by price elasticity of demand, sometimes called PED, look at how we calculate price elasticity of demand, and be able to identify whether price elasticity of demand for a product is elastic or inelastic. So let's first of all, what do we mean by price elasticity? Well, as we've established, there is a link between the price of a product and the quantity that people buy. So for example, if the price of a flight went from $200 to $100, we might expect more people to choose to purchase a ticket. So a change in price will lead to a change in the quantity demanded. Now what we're interested in here is the extent to which this happens. So how much more will demand increase by? And the concept of price elasticity of demand gives us the answer to this question. So what is price elasticity of demand? Price elasticity of demand is defined as the responsiveness of quantity demanded to a change in price. So if there is a change in price, how will the quantity demanded respond? i.e., what will happen to the amount of people who want to buy the product if its price changes, or how many will people buy if its price changes? And we can calculate this by using a formula. And the formula for price elasticity of demand is the percentage change in the quantity demanded divided by the percentage change in the price of the product. So we need to have this down in our notes. The percentage change in the quantity demanded over the percentage change in the price of the product gives us the price elasticity of demand for a product. So we do need to know that to calculate the percentage change, we take the change between two numbers divided by the original number and times by 100. So if I want to know the percentage change and something's gone from €8 to €10, the change would be 2 divided by the original 8 times 100. So that would be a 25% increase. A good way to remember this is change over original, cheese and onion. Cheese and onion, that famous combination, change over original. So let's have a look at an example of this calculation. And we're going to imagine here we're looking at cans of Coke. So if 200 cans of Coke were sold at a price of 50 cents, and then the price rises to 60 cents and demand, the quantity sold, falls to 180 cans, what is the price elasticity of demand for this product? Well, let's go through nice and slowly. First of all, let's get our formula. Our formula is the percentage change in quantity demanded divided by the percentage change in price. So firstly, we need to work out the percentage change for demand, and then we need to work out the percentage change for price. Remembering that we use the formula change in value divided by the original value times 100 gives us the percentage change. So here are our three steps. First of all, let's work out the change in demand, the percentage change in demand. So that's the change in demand. Demand has gone down by 20 from 200 to 180, divided by the original, which was 200, times 100. So our percentage change in demand is minus 10%. Now let's do the same for price. The price has gone up by 10 cents from an original price of 50 cents. So 10 is the change over the original 50 times 100. So our percentage change in price is 20%. Now let's put these two together. The percentage change in quantity demanded divided by the percentage change in price. It's minus 10% over 20%, which gives us an answer of minus 0.5. And we call the answer here the price elasticity of demand coefficient. This is telling us that cans of Coke have a price elasticity of demand of minus 0.5. So what does this mean? It means if the price changes by a certain percentage, the percentage change in demand will be minus 0.5 times as big. So if the price goes down by 10%, then the demand will go up by 5%. If the price rises by 20%, the demand will go down by 10%. So we need to remember this formula, percentage change in demand over percentage change in price. And a good way to remember this one is percentage change in demand over percentage change in price. And it's important we get them the right way around. So D for demand and D for doctor, and P for price and P for pepper, which gives us that well-known American soft drink, Dr. Pepper. So we have to remember D over P. Percentage change in demand over percentage change in price. And that's how I remember this formula. Another way we can use this formula is often we'll get a situation where perhaps we're given the price elasticity of demand, but we need to try and work out something else, one of the other two. And so here what we can do is if we cover up one, we can see what the outcome is by looking at the other sides of the triangle. So for example, if I cover up PED and I need to work out the PED, I look over here and I can see it's the percentage change in quantity demanded divided by the percentage change in price. And I can do it differently. Let's have a look. If I do a different way, let's imagine I want to find out the percentage change in quantity demanded. That's what I don't know, but I've been given the other two. I can do the percentage change in demand, price elasticity of demand, and I can multiply it by the percentage change in price. And that will give me the one that I don't know, the percentage change in quantity demanded. So this triangle, if you like it, can be a useful way to manipulate our formula so that we can use it easily. Now, what you might have noticed is that we had a minus sign. So for most products, there will be a negative sign because we have an inverse relationship in the law of demand, which means generally speaking, as the price goes down, demand will go up. And as the price goes up, demand will go down. So we would always expect that we might have a minus sign as our answer. So conventionally, we write price elasticity of demand like this, minus 0.5. But sometimes people will ignore the minus sign and just write 0.5 as the price elasticity of demand. So we should be aware of this. So what is the significance of the coefficient that we're generating? Well, the price elasticity of demand is the percentage change in quantity demanded over the percentage change in price. And what we want to know really is how much will demand change, the top bit, how much will demand change if we change the price? Now, if our answer is greater than 1, what we're saying here is the top half is going to be bigger than the bottom half. But if our answer is less than 1, what we're saying here is the top half, the change in demand, is going to be smaller than the change in price. So 1 is an important number here because if it's more than 1, what we're saying is the change in price will lead to quite a large change in quantity demanded. And we would describe that as being an elastic response. The product is very price elastic, boing, very stretchy, a large change in demanded. If the answer we get is less than 1, so 0.5 or 0.7, then the percentage change in price is going to lead to a smaller percentage change in quantity demanded. And we call this price inelastic, not very responsive, not very bouncy change in demand. If the answer is exactly 1, we describe that as being unit elastic. The percentage change in price will lead to the same percentage change in quantity demanded. So let's illustrate that with a quick example. Here we have the same product, or two products, and let's imagine the same thing has happened to them. Both products, the price has gone down by 10%. Now, the product on the left-hand side, we can see that when the price has gone down by 10%, the quantity has increased by 50%. So how would we describe that relationship? Well, we can see that's quite a big change in the demand. Demand has gone up by a lot when the price went down. So here, the price elasticity of demand would be 50 divided by minus 10, so minus 5. 5 is bigger than 1, so we would describe this as being price elastic. The demand here changes a lot when we change the price of the product. On the right-hand side, what's happened? Well, there's the same change in price for this product. The price has gone down by 10%, but what's happened this time is the quantity has not risen by very much. It's only gone up by 5%, a very small increase. What would the price elasticity of demand be for this product? Well, it would be 5 divided by 10, which is minus 10, which is minus 0.5. So 0.5 is less than 1, a smaller number than 1. So we describe this as being price inelastic. The demand is not very responsive. So let's have a look at what would determine the level of price elasticity of demand, whether it's price elastic or price inelastic. Well, the availability of substitutes. The more substitutes for a product there are, the more it's likely to be price elastic, i.e. the price has a big impact on how much people demand. If the price goes up and there's lots of alternatives, you might expect demand to fall by a lot, therefore it's more likely to be price elastic. Time can also have an impact. In the short term, if prices change, people don't have much time to react. They may not be aware of other alternatives, or they may be in contracts, and so they can't change how much they buy. So in the short term, prices tend to be more inelastic. In the long term, however, we can look for different alternatives. So for example, if in the short term, the price of petrol rose, it would be probably price inelastic. The price of petrol goes up today, tomorrow I'm probably not going to buy a significantly different amount because I need it for my car. So demand wouldn't change, so it's going to be price elastic. However, in the long term, it might become more price elastic because in the long term, maybe I will get rid of my petrol car and move to an electric powered car. And therefore the demand for petrol would fall. In the long term, it would be more price elastic. Whether a product is a luxury or necessity, luxuries tend to be more price elastic and necessities more price inelastic, things like basic food items. If the price goes up, well, I still need food, I'm still going to pay for it, so my demand is not going to fall. If it's something I don't really need, like a luxury, and the price goes up, maybe I'd cut back on buying it quite a lot, so therefore it might be more price elastic. Branding can have an important point here. If a brand is very successful, it might make demand more price inelastic, people less responsive to changes in price. A final one to consider, or another one to consider, is proportion of income spent on a good. So for example, if a box of matches increases in price by 10%, most people won't notice, they won't care particularly because it's such a small part of their income. It's not a particularly valuable item, so it's likely to be maybe price inelastic. On the other hand, if it's a car, that's quite a significant amount of money, a significantly large part of people's incomes, so this is likely to have quite a big impact on the quantity demanded and be more price elastic. Why is it so important to businesses to understand price elasticity of demand? Well, it's key for businesses to know what will happen if they change their price, which is part of their marketing decision. And we'll come on to that later. Branding, businesses will try and make the demand more price inelastic through advertising and branding. And whether a product is price elastic or price inelastic can have an effect on whether a business should raise its price or lower its price to try and increase overall revenue. So in this video, we've looked at price elasticity demand, we've looked at the calculation, and we've looked at whether products are likely to be elastic, price elastic, or price inelastic. Thank you for listening. That's it.